have a very special relationship with the Suzuki Grand Vitara. I really, really do. Because the last time that I was in a Suzuki Grand Vitara, hear this, it was COVID hard lockdown, and the Suzuki Grand Vitara gave me a media pass to go traveling through the Karoo. While everyone else was at home, I was not. I was in a Suzuki Grand Vitara doing some very cool things. Go and check out that video. But that was a different world, a different time. And that was a very different Suzuki Grand Vitara. Now, first things first is I want to point out that this car in real life is a lot smaller than it actually looks in this video or on any photo. I was surprised to see how small it actually is. I sat in the back of this car all the way to the Vescus because the Vescus is the Vescus. 160 kilometers there and 160 kilometers back, and never once did I feel compromised. This car looks very, very small from the outside, but let me assure you, it isn't a small car. It isn't a small car. And that is testament to a very, very smart design. It's odd. It messes with your mind. You think you're in a small car, but you're actually not. There is more than enough legroom here. This seat is not pushed forward for the sake of this video. That is my seat as it was driving here. And this is absolutely fine. I can nearly straighten out over here. And it's gonna come down to that same old spiel, my boys. Value for money. But before we dive into that, it's important to stress that that 1.4 turbo from the old Vitara doesn't exist anymore. It's now the standard naturally aspirated 1.5, which doesn't give you as much. Now, I don't mind this motor at all. It does what it needs to do. It pushes out 76 kilowatts and 136 newton meters of torque. But what it is guilty of doing with this 4-speed transmission is between 105 and 115. If the road is not dead straight, it does try and find a gear a lot. So it goes, which, as you can hear, is very, very irritating. But guys, consider this. It starts from 339,000 Rand. 339,000 Rand, so a little bit of maybe isn't such a bad thing, because in terms of value for money and what you get in here, it's my favorite phrase, more than enough. It absolutely is. Despite the struggle for a gear, the reality is I spent 400 Rand and drove 350 kilometers. And no, this video is not being filmed in 2004. That is how light on fuel this car is, this 1.5. It cruised very easily at 130, 140 for the entire trip. So it absolutely gives you what it should give you. And if you're not attuned to engine noise and that sort of stuff doesn't bother you, well, what more do you want?